In this lecture, we would understand about Northeast, the various schemes mainly for agriculture sustainable development in Northeast. So, the Northeast of India is connected through the Siliguri Corridor, as we call it, and it is also called as the Chicken Neck. There is a land stretch of around 22 kilometers that connects Northeast with the West Bengal and the mainland. Now, coming on to first of all Mizoram. Now, Mizoram became the part of India in 1987, and Mizoram literally means the land of Mizo people. The Mizoram has basically various tribes, and the list of tribes we have mentioned here. The idea is the Lusei Hills, which were present there, later on changed to the Mizo District and one of the districts of Assam. And in 1972, it became a union territory as Mizoram. Now, there are 26 rural development blocks. There is a border with Myanmar as well as Bangladesh, and the residents within 16 kilometers of the border on either side of Myanmar are allowed to move freely under the free movement regime without any visa. So this is one of the major developments. Then we have a National Highway 37, which is a two-lane paved road in Manipur. The rail route has been started between Agartala and Akura. There has been development for majority of minority groups, and autonomous district councils have been created in Mizoram as Lai, Mara and Chakma. Then the Chakma tribe is very distinct from Mizoram as it relates to the culture, linguistics and the religion. When it comes to the economy in Mizoram, it's mainly a tertiary economy with 43%. Agriculture contributes only 26% in Mizoram, and the per capita income is around 2 lakh per year as per 2019-2020. Peace accord was signed, and finally it became a part of the Indian mainland as a separate state of the union in 1987. Now, when it comes to agriculture, horticulture is one of the major productions which is seen in Mizoram, mainly the mandarin oranges. The mandarin oranges have been very important source of economy in Mizoram, along with a chili which is known as the bird's eye chili, which has a GI tag, a geographical indicator tag from Mizoram. When it comes to policies besides horticulture, there are major policies coming for bamboo cultivation, rubber cultivation and creation of trade and investment. Now Mizoram has the third highest literacy rate in India, next only to Kerala and Lakshadweep, which is one of the major assets. It has a very high sex ratio, and again with regards to renewable development, the national solar potential of Mizoram has a very high average potential, which is contributing to the development of Mizoram. Also, Mizoram contributes to 14% of the total bamboo stock in India. Now, there is a major project which is a transit transport project connecting the Kaladan region, which is the Haldia in the West Bengal, to Sitwe port in Myanmar, and therefore this connectivity is through the Rakhine state border in Myanmar and would be one of the major centers of development for Mizoram. The only airport which is present in Mizoram is the Lingpoi airport, and there are two national highways, one connecting to Assam and another connecting to Tripura. But one of the major issues here is high use and prevalence of tobacco. Nearly 67% of the population use tobacco as against the national average of 37%. The next is through the culture. We have seen development across the Northeast, but the need is development through culture and not development versus culture. Now, when we focus on this, we say that the land of Northeast has been prosperous. We have images of Kali also seen in Tibet, called as Lahamo. Similarly, we have Dorji, which means Vajra or thunderbolt, and the Northeast, the region of Tibet, there have been very much similarities which have been cited. Even the goddess of lion, the goddess on the lion. Then we have the seal of Tashi Lama. The Tashi means Mangalam in Tibet, and the mother goddess is the Tara or the Dolma. So all these are cultural links which connect the Tibetan region with the Northeast. Now, Northeast Special Infrastructure Development Scheme has been started, and this is funded totally by the center, entirely funded by the center, and mainly for power, connectivity and water supply. Also, a finance corporation scheme has been started to help the first generation entrepreneurs. There has been a project for smart cities also in the Northeast, and some of the cities selected for those are Agartala, Guwahati, Imphal, Kohima, Namchi in Sikkim, then Gangtok in Sikkim, then you have Pasighat, Itanagar and Aizawl. Now, when it comes to agriculture, as we already talked about, horticulture as one of the major source of subsistence, then you have mixed farming and also a combination of crop, livestock, fish and silk. So, silk is again an important developmental zone in Northeast. Then another important food grain production is rice. Overall, it is deficient in food grain production, but when it comes to rice, it is one of the good producers, and still strategies are adopted to increase the rice production in those areas, and that is mainly through better irrigation, better replacement rate, better mechanization and providing credit and finance to the farmers along with storage infrastructure in the region. The next important is meat production. Now, except Arunachal Pradesh, all of the states in the northeast have witnessed a significant increase in meat production due to large livestock and people's preference for meat diet. Similarly, milk production is low in Assam due to the maximum indigenous breeds which are present of the total cattle population. However, there has been a decline in milk production seen in Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur and Mizoram as the per capita availability has declined over the years. The next is when it comes to high value crops, what are some of the high value crops? So those are passion fruit, Kala Joha and Pachuli. Those are some of the major crops which are used for aromatic as well as medicinal purposes, and they have an international demand as well. A system for rice intensification which is based on zero tillage has been introduced, and this is an effort to conserve the resources. The next is the regional database. A e-governance system has been established for a better policy analysis for the northeast area and identifying zones. Now, identifying zones for agro processing, identifying zones for innovation, bringing in more institutional collaboration and collaterals for better delivery of credits. Also bringing in opportunities for the youth of the northeast. So the northeast, we have 5% of the wetland, and it contributes only 4% of the total geographical area of the country. So youth can be engaged more in fish growing, for example, or rice fish farming, and therefore there can be opportunities for youth to become self-reliant. Bamboo and rubber are another areas where youth can actually come up as entrepreneurs. So self-employment is one of the major things which is brought to the northeast. There has been a huge demand for the bamboo industry since the bamboo has been put in the category of grass and cultivation of bamboo has been promoted. India has witnessed itself as the second largest producer of bamboo, and due to its resilience and cost effectiveness, bamboo and products of bamboo have now grown into demand internationally. Now, some of the demand drivers mainly are the better varieties, better institutional credit support, and through the Kisan Rath and Kisan Rail, there has been transportation of the perishable goods and cold storage facility, which has given a thrust to the bamboo development as well. Again, under the National Bamboo Mission, the agenda is the farmers' income to be doubled by 2022, and there have been various programs for rural welfare to reduce the agrarian distress in the bamboo farmers. The next is there is identification of various clusters which can have successful bamboo cultivation, and those clusters have been identified across India, and for example Maharashtra, Gujarat. Besides that, most of the states hail from northeast, and those are Assam, Nagaland and Tripura. Also, a cane and bamboo technology center has been designed specifically for the people of northeast. Now, when it comes to northeast, tourism tourism becomes one of the major aspects. Now, when it comes to tourism, what are the attractions? You have Majuli Island in Assam, Blue Mountains in Mizoram, Palak Lake in Mizoram, and the Kangla Fort again in Manipur. Besides this, there are numerous tea estates, the ethnic and the tribal culture, the bamboo reserves, the clean environment. But what are the issues with the tourism? The major issues are poor connectivity, poor infrastructure, lack of security, a kind of landlocked structure which creates a little of distance when it comes to transportation. But there are numerous opportunities in terms of handicrafts, in terms of circuit development, ethnic development, tribal belt development. So those are some of the areas which have to be identified for tourism, and the tourism must be pushed. The next is a special highway has been released as Trans Arunachal Highway, and this is under the Special Accelerated Road Development Project of Northeast. There has been an investment of 92,000 crore by the government for development of road and railways, and also there has been a private vehicle initiative which is a connection between Bhutan, Bangladesh, India and Nepal to allow unrestricted travel across border between these four regions. So these four regions are India, Nepal, Bhutan and Bangladesh, and therefore numerous bus services have been improved. Through the National Education Policy and the Educational Policy Regime, we have seen setting up of interdisciplinary centers, setting up of regional and central universities, leadership development programs, and also focusing on learning the treasure within. Now this is one of the reports by the International Commission on Education for the 21st Century led by Jacques Delors, and one of the major reports which highlights learning to be an emphasis for individuals' autonomy, and therefore Northeast there have been lots and lots of initiatives for development of literature, development of languages, and Sahitya Academy has been working, and there are 24 languages under which the Sahitya Academy awards are given. So choosing a language and highlighting that becomes very, very important. Now whole of the Northeast is known for its rich music landscape. When it comes to music, in Assam we have Bhupendra Hazarika's song, then we have Jayanta Hazarika, the younger brother of Bhupen Hazarika, who slowly westernized the music in Assam in 1970s. There was another style which was the Pepon style which was introduced, and this was based on folktronica. Similarly, there is a metal rock band which is known as Lucid Recess. In Tripura again there is a lot of connection with music. Sachin Dev Burman, who belongs to a Tripura royal family, and Bimal Debarama, both of them have revolutionized the aspects of music in Tripura. In Manipur, it's the Cleve rock band, and similarly in Sikkim, the folk dances and the folk culture of Lepcha, Bhutia and Nepalis is very, very unique. There are dancers under the Dhatu Ware, and a Nepali folk dance, Tamang Selo, is one of the popular dances. Similarly, in Mizoram, there are various projects. For example, the Boomerang, which is a band of boys from Aizwal, Mandolin, Chosen, Apple, Scavenger project. So list of those has been provided here. In Arunachal Pradesh, again, there is a death metal band which is from Itanagar since 2005. In Nagaland, again, there is Aloba Naga band which is famous. In Northeast, the cinema has a very huge impact. The Jyotimati, which is based on a historical character, is a woman with a political vision from the Ahom dynasty, and she was one of the leading figures in the independence movement as well. There is another major film from Manipur which is the Madami Manipur, which was awarded as the best Manipur feature film in the National Film Awards. So there has been a list of cinema developments which has been cited here. The next is the NECTAR. Now NECTAR is a scheme for the Northeast, and that is the Northeast Center for Technology Application and Research, a very, very important scheme released by DST, Department for Center of Science and Technology. And the idea is to provide technical support and technological solutions to the people of Northeast, be it agriculture, be it infrastructure, to make them self-sufficient, to make them self-reliant. Besides this, there are various other schemes for employment generation. For example, Northeast region TOS scheme, which is aimed to generate social and economic growth. BANS scheme, which is a public-private partnership mainly for bamboo application. Technology outreach program, which is a program under the NECTAR scheme. Then we have fixed wing micro unmanned aerial vehicles. Now the unmanned aerial vehicles have been developed by again the NECTAR scheme, specifically for technological thrust in Northeast region. And the idea is through mapping and GIS analysis, a 3D digital terrain model would be created to identify the types of building, the flooding and the population, and then use of unmanned aerial vehicle for various purposes. Then how the region has been affected by climate change is important. Now India's global population, if we say, is 18% and the waste generation is 11%. Now this has led to extreme weather events and a higher amount of greenhouse gas emissions than the standard amounts expected. So what has happened over the years is, specifically the northeast has been affected by severe droughts, floods, heat waves or rainfall, and in certain cases forest fires have also been witnessed. There has been various treatment plants, various policies. For example, the principle of 4R, which is refuse, reduce, reuse and recycle, brought to lower the greenhouse gas emissions in the Northeast. Waste prevention strategies have come up. And then through the effluent treatment programs, the treatment for methane, nitrous oxides, carbon dioxides and other gases have been identified specifically in the Northeast. In the Northeast, handloom is another major industry. So weavers have been given a special support. There have been lots and lots of weavers who are slowly disappearing. So what can be brought for betterment of these weavers? Specifically in Assam, the region is Kashi, which is known for its textile. Similarly, there is Eri silk, which is brought under the Daniel-Siam, and that is mainly seen by Rebo weavers of Meghalaya. The Karmasonam, in line with Kuzu, is one of the ways through which textile is designed for the people in Sikkim. So there are various ways for textile designing, and Eri silk is one of the major silks found in Assam, which also has thermal properties, medicinal properties, and the most best thing about this, it is that it can be extracted without killing the worms, and therefore it is also known as ahimsa silk. So it is ahimsa, and therefore this Eri silk has gained popularity over the years. So that was about the topics that we have covered for this Yojana. We would be covering many more interesting facts with you. Stay subscribed. Have a wonderful day ahead.